The July scuffed month seems to continue, and hello and welcome to another edition of the Marvel Contest of Champions News Show. We'll get to our lead story in a minute, but let's go over the Summoners Fest. Still something that as new events come in at the end of this month and probably towards early next month, we're going to start to learn what is the pain point of trying to hit certain amounts of milestones, but also the amount of points that you can individually farm, which of course we're still learning more about. As we said, more information towards the end of the month. But where are we up to at the moment? Jesus Christ, of all names, is tracking these, as many other people as well. We seem to be doing like 500 million points per day. And if you're curious, that could look like an endpoint of 32 billion if we look at 64 days. If it's 65 days, then that's fine. It's going to be 32 billion 500 million, something like that. 32.5 billion. Maybe we'll say with that, with it, but it could go up. It could be more than that. It may not be. We'll largely have to see towards the end of the month. We'll be doing a tracking of this thoroughly, I think, over the weekend. But there's some positives, I think, that will at least hit a good milestone. And even 32 billion, if we do hit it, will give some nice stuff. Although hitting 32 billion does mean that will require you definitely the in of 285,000, which is the lowest, I think, benchmark for this. And maybe this is why Kabam set this, as they know that the player base, if they do the 285k, will hit that particular marker. Now, if Kabam say 300k is applicable, then that does indeed kind of like, well, we completed it, mate. You've done it all. 285k is the most you got to hit. So what Kabam is saying is be proactive in Marvel Contest of Champions, in particular Battlegrounds, if you can. I know it's a slog and I know people are hitting pain points, but if you can push through it, that is where a bulk of stuff is, as well as a super daily event as well at the same time. So be proactive with those things. Now let's talk about the Trello board. It's been a little while, I think, since we last saw an update to the Trello board and what Kabam have been working on. So last week, Kabam and they always work like a week late to kind of give announcements, because this was done last 24 hours actually. So Rintra Sasquatch displaying incorrect behavior in Nightmare raids. We'll talk about the current raid situation at the moment in a moment indeed. And of course the other buggy things like Valiant, Super, Quest, swap nodes showing incorrect classes. Summoners are getting stuck at the hack screen and Incursion zone 25. For those that are doing zone 25. I nearly got stuck on zone 4 in Saga sector. Thought that was weird. Also, Captain Britain is not increasing how quickly Neuroshocks tick in psionic mode, and Zola's SP3 regeneration armor break durations can increase past what they should. There's also a few other nodes and things that have been fixed, which you can go and check out. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you're interested. And also, Torches Frosty was applying to non-Saga champions. I think we knew about that. The Kabam were working on that one. So fixes are live in various places, whether or not you feel a difference to it or not. So just quickly on to a bit of Alliance raid-based coverage, and in particular, the dependence on having to do Alliance raids. And that's something that is creating a bit of, of course, an issue, points discrepancy, and of course the mode itself. We'll talk about several things that are going on with it. So first of all, the very good point here, Summoners Fest event was almost a third of the points in raids. Why didn't the team communicate this info earlier, considering the optional nature of Nightmare raids? They are certainly aware of that not all alliances do raid, much less Nightmare raids. In particular, in raids was absolutely essential. Why didn't they announce it prior to the event, such as to allow summoners to switch alliances to join one? Instead, they just stayed radio silent on the topic. They let the raid week roll out like normal. And yeah, so the point is, like, we knew Alliance raids were going to have a month of it. Okay, fine. I think we knew about that, right? What we didn't know about Summoners Fest. Summoners Fest communication has been some of the poorest by Kabam in a while. Now, Kabam maybe like treated it like all cards close to their chest, because you were chasing points in various areas, and in some cases, still now, we don't know the volume of objectives to points farming potential for Summoners Fest. Okay, we won't learn about that until the new events or new live stream for August, which would likely be towards the end of this month. We also don't know about the compensation elements of the July live stream. We don't know if people that got 2,500 extra live stream Summoners Fest points are going to be, not, they won't be deducted it, but will other people be able to get those particular points, therefore saving them a little bit of farm and frustration in certain areas. But we do know we got 300k points to farm. What we don't know is that separated out between some objectives in August, some other events we don't know about, and finally those spending deals which came about as of nowhere. Communication, of course, is key with all of that stuff. But it can be frustrating because you might be like, well, our alliance would have liked to have done this, but we just can't do nightmare raids or alliance raids in general to farm said points, which of course is just, it's sad when you can't prepare for these things, because we knew about alliance raids month, but what we didn't know is, of course, the points that were so important for it. And of course, by the way, club together, learn what is good for these weeks of alliance raid, because if you don't like succeed in your farming in alliance raid, you will let down other people that will need to get these points. And this is the problem as well with this. It's great to have the Summoners Fest, but still, if for whatever reason you're in your three between Tactician, Vanguard, and I can't remember the other one, so whatever it is, right? If one person lets the lock down, or there's pressure on them to get through, and they don't, and you're not able to collect that particular raid chest. And same thing with the alliance. It's not just the alliance, it's like the battle group itself. If there's some problems in the battleground, or somebody lets people down, then it causes a problem, doesn't it? Because you're not able to get your points, and that causes damage. So there's a lot of pressure that Kabam put on the community as well as alliances to succeed in this particular mode. There's also a few bugs that are appearing with alliance raids in general, which are, of course, are causing frustration. Raid Spider-Man Supreme Healing. So they decided to not add the node where the defender can't heal past where they started. He healed to full health off one attempt, regardless of not picking a good attacker. That's a little off for scaling when other champs have had it. So yes, it's not, obviously it's not, could it be seen as fair? Not fair, Spidey Super Healing is insane. His SBCL special punish, is borderline insane due to the dash back after every special he does. What the hell, Kabam thinking? I mean, look, AI is not perfect at the moment. It never has been, and I wonder when Kabam are actually going to deal with it. We'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, if we're talking about a 242k healing potential, then maybe it's not just the players that are feeling the frustration and, of course, the pressure, but also what Kabam are putting in this particular game mode situation for week 2. That is not a fun situation at all. Will Kabam deal with this? Well, we might find out, I don't know, within the next few hours or 24 hours. I want to point out is I'm recording this video at 10:30 p.m. On the 15th of July, so everything information-wise is correct as of now. I'm looking around before I recorded this to see, and whilst I'm recording, to see if Kabam have given any kind of answer about the situation of the game being down and the state of it. They'll probably have a response by the time I wake up in the morning or whilst I'm at work, so I'll try and have a look at what Kabam is saying and if there's any other extra context that needs to be added to it. But let's kind of like hope that they can deal with this. Like, we're talking about potentially 2 extra compensation packages coming to the community, a potential war that might have to be kind of forfeited in the result, which might be good for some but may not be good for others. In that, I'm sure Kabam will say, well, you had 2 days. Well, it's not always the case, is it? Anyway, as we know, the game went down at about 5:48 p.m. and then was put back up. Probably that looks about 45 minutes of downtime before everything seemed to come back. Maybe did the full hour. Maybe it did the full hour of the game being down, quite possibly, which is around my dinner time. And I just come back through the door, then it's my dinner time. Then me and Emma watch like a TV show or something, and then I'm up here to kind of like record and research what topics, and also make an incursions guide. Hope you saw it yesterday. Hope you enjoyed it. Yes. Not quite the full hour, but yes, certainly too long. Really just hit at the worst moment. Folks on their way to into work and all. Usually I'm working from home. We will be around for stuff like this, but I'm visiting the office this week. So just poor timing. Definitely want to do better in situations like this, though ideally avoid these altogether. Yeah, that's weird timing in it. So it's like just while people are starting work or kind of coming to the office. It's the worst time for the game to go down when you know there's no engineers in and such like. And of course, talk of compensation packages. Got to get the game back up and running first. True. In answer to as a guy in corporate myself, as my Photoshop decides to pop up. Something weird with my Photoshop at the moment. I think it's a little bit broken. I understand this is very well and can't believe I'm saying it. Sympathize with you here. Out of hours issues are the worst since they can't catch you at the worst place, time, and even position at times. It's hard to properly and effectively react to, but preventative measures have to be in place. For such incidents, I'm going to eyeball it and say that it was pointless to call on-call standby engineers since it was coming close to work hours. Also, if the game goes down, if something goes down and you resolve it within an hour, it's kind of like you kind of go, well, why did we pay for that emergency response? But at the same time, like it's just a call away for somebody to kind of come in. Somebody get someone working close to Vancouver or the office itself. It's not always the case, isn't it? You might have the best engineer, but they might live about 2 hours away from the actual offices. It's not a UK like the offices that I work for. If there's a problem, I'm an hour 20 away, but I've got something at home that I can just dial in and make changes if anything kind of happens. But it's different. It's a different situation. I've known people that are able to dial into servers and do stuff remotely. Then there's situations of, well, it needs somebody to be actually there to kind of click a button, so to speak. But anyway, you know, who's to say like how Kabam sort out their back end of stuff? I'm sure people will have lots of suggestions. So yeah, we have a process in place. That's what triggered the emergency maintenance. Just takes longer to get things back up and going because you're dealing with folks coming online as you need them here to help. Comms are a manual from us though, as took a bit longer. Appreciate the understanding. So okay. And the final thing, as I said, I'm recording this before there's any kind of extra communication. I've tried to grab as much as possible. This is pretty tough timing, as you have already said, especially for those of us working who were waiting. And that's the other thing is about working. Like people will. So here's a bit of context. Like in the UK, the daily super event and a lot of the objectives re-trigger at 7 p.m. UK time. This means that if you are doing, I don't know, you come home from work, you're cooking dinner, dealing with kids, or you're dealing with whatever, there will be that 3-hour window you theoretically have before you've got to get ready for the new day. You've got to, shower, get whatever you do, then go to bed at a normal time at like 10 p.m, between 10 and 11 p.m. If you've got the time to play, you don't. If you do, then great. But if you don't, then you're largely in the kind of situation of, then you wake up for about 6 a.m, 7 a.m, 8 a.m, whatever. Then it's straight to work, and it's work the full day. Then it's come home, depending on the travel. And then, of course, you've got to play. Now, if you've lost that 5 p.m. UK time to 7 p.m. UK time frame, and you'll rush to get stuff done. AQ raids, objectives, like the Battlegrounds objectives, the daily super event, and then something else. You might have missed out. But that could be geographically one place. That could be a European-based problem. It really does depend. So conversation about compensation. But yeah, can't promise anything except bring it up in the conversation. We'll do that though for sure. So as I'm recording this, let's just see if there's any kind of update to be tracking to kind of give you. I'm going to go with no, largely. No, I think this is probably the only thing right here, which is Ping will run into the compensation from the compensation zombies. Comp is coming. Okay. It's mostly in line with the comp from similar outages in the past. More details to come. once we've done testing the in-game message. But shout out to Crash for getting some Summoners Fest points added onto it. So there we go. It's good when like I'm recording an MCN and I've actually got something that just like fresh that come in. We'll probably do a separate quick video that's going to be put out on the Tuesday night, because I'm recording some Tuesday night. But this is of course extra kind of like context and information right there and then, so that's good news if you missed the little video that I posted, because if it's not over 10 minutes and if it's not over 8 minutes to 10 minutes, it's swallowed up by the algorithm and you don't get notified of anything. Don't you just love YouTube? And on that bombshell, thank you very much for watching. Check out some other content as you usually do, and I'll see you all very soon for something like the new game mode today. That'd be exciting. See you then. Bye.